All right, we're here at the Spoon, joined by Alex from Impact Justice. How you doing, Alex?
Terrific. It's great to be here today. With me today is George Carter, the president and founder of Scout Strategies, that also works in the indoor farming space.
Welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here, guys.
We are going to have a great talk. I'm really excited. Alex, why don't you first start off by just giving us a little background at Impact Justice, how you guys help empower people and all the kind of work that you do.
Great. Impact Justice is a national innovation and research center working to really transform our criminal legal system, working to keep people out of the system, making sure those people that end up in the system, and there's far too many of them, right, have opportunities and are protected from the harms that happen in the system. And for those people leaving, it's pretty much everybody at some point. What can we do to help set their trajectory for success as high as possible? And we use that using research, knowledge, imagination, and risk.
And I went to the website, and there's a lot of different kind of like projects you're working on. One that we'll be talking about today is the Growing Justice Initiative. George, why don't you give us a little bit of an insight on what that is?
Yeah, so the Growing Justice Initiative is an initiative that Impact Justice is obviously out in the forefront and leading, but it has kind of numerous impacts. So the first one is we are going to be working with Impact Justice and CCFW in Coachella, California, to build one of the first indoor vertical farms on site at a prison
Wow.
in North America, and also teaching these women how to grow and operate an indoor vertical farm, which is an incredible skill set. I think that is going to become more and more valuable as this industry becomes more and more relevant. And then the second piece of that is also working with Impact Justice to build a indoor vertical farm training center at their office in downtown Oakland. And so we're actually working with them right now as we're going through the site feasibility to determine, where the best place is going to be for that farm. But that really is going to just be a continuation of the work being done at Chowchilla, but providing an opportunity for us to train these women and men who are coming out, who are formerly incarcerated, and giving them a place to, again, continue to further their skill set in this growing industry.
That's really cool. I mean, it's really important to talk about food in prison. And I saw that Impact Justice is working with chefs in prison as well, and that's a really great initiative. I'm wondering about the actual farm. You said you're looking at like one location for that. Is the idea to launch that in potentially other prisons?
We're starting at a women's facility in Southern California, and our goal is to make that successful and then expand that to the men's facility, which is a little bit down the road from the women's facility.
Okay.
And coupled with the site here in Oakland, to be able to train people, both incarcerated and formerly incarcerated, in indoor farming, and then work with the large indoor farming companies to place people in jobs across the country in this really fast growing and needed field.
That's great. That's a way to, from the inside, actually change how these organizations are being run.
Yeah, most definitely, man. And I think, also talking about the food in prison, right? I mean, to me, this is leveraging the true innovation of indoor vertical farming, containerized farming, is that you virtually can build these farms anywhere, which then lead to creating access to nutrient dense food anywhere, right? And so we're talking about being able to drop multiple 40-foot containers on site at a maximum security prison, and these women are now going to have access to fresh food, right? And so fundamentally, not only giving them a new skill set, but also providing access to nutritionally dense food. And I think we all know what these people are fed behind bars. And so it's also a step in changing and really changing the narrative in that conversation, right?
Yeah.
Is really, I think, coupled with some of the other work that Impact Justice is doing, it's pretty powerful.
Yeah, and nutrition in general is so important. A healthy mind is a really important thing that's overlooked. It's crazy how, not to get too off on a tangent, but how this country doesn't understand or like promote good health. I don't think as well as it should
Through food,
through food.
right?
Yeah, and your mind is your food, and it's like a connection point.
Yep.
So that's really important. And a lot of what we talk about at the Spoon and a lot of our shows is how we can, change how people get good food, basically.
Right.
And I think that's a great, apex what you guys are working on.
Well, when Impact Justice did the first national report looking at the state of food in prison, and as you've observed, it's pretty terrible. We didn't stop there. We said, like, what can we do, right? What can we do to both train people for this incredible industry, give people access to food, but then grow that food and put it back into the food stream in that facility or back into the community, right, that's suffering under food apartheid, and empower people to have economic ownership
Yep.
in a way that right now the current farming system doesn't allow them to have, right? People of color have really been shut out of land acquisition with climate change and all the other risks. It's expensive, it's time consuming, it's a young person's sport, right? And it takes
Hmm.
cash to get to it. So this is really both an economic entrepreneurial opportunity, but also a healthy mind, healthy body way to really sort of meet the needs of communities that have been underserved.
Yep. Self-reliance.
Exactly. Well, this is awesome, guys. I'm really excited for you to share it here with us at the Spoon. Alex and George, thanks for being here. Anything that you're really excited about in the future, though, right now, like where there's so much stuff going on, like we just said, vertical farming and just basically moving nutrition with technology, like the help of technology. Is there something on the horizon that you're both of you are like excited about when it comes to kind of that melding together?
I sometimes say that for people, when a Whole Foods is coming to their community, many people are excited, except for the people who live there, who know that their rent prices are going to go up and they're going to get forced out of the community, right? And that's sort of the trade-off to have healthy food come to your community. Is you might have to
Hmm.
leave your community. I think with indoor farming, what we're seeing and what we're hoping for is being able to give people an economic opportunity and be able to give them good food without having to displace them, but rather to meet the needs of the people in the community while allowing them to stay in that community.
Definitely. And George, anything that you're excited about on the horizon when it comes to this food and technology?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, it's kind of the coalescence and everything coming together: regenerative agriculture, indoor agriculture, controlled environment agriculture, aquaculture. It's all of these different forms of agriculture that oftentimes you find them competing. But I think I'm of the mindset that we're going to need all of these things in order to solve some of the issues that we are facing from a food system standpoint. And so for me, that's kind of the moment that I'm waiting for, and really pushing for in this industry, because I think we all serve a different piece of the puzzle as it relates to rebuilding our food system. So that for me is part of what I'm excited about of the future of food for sure.
Yeah, how tech can help us rebuild that food system, the broken food system,
Well, and build a new one. Build a new
and
one,
build a
right?
new one.
And,
Yeah,
and I think, to Alex's point, talking about how do we also build a food system that leads back to communities that have historically been marginalized, and how do we include them in that, right? That is part of this equity that we talk about, or we use the word equity a lot these days, but what does that actually look like? And so I think having these women and men a part of that is critically important.
I totally agree. Well, I'm very excited to learn more about the Growing Justice Initiative. I urge everybody to go check that out, as well as go to impactjustice.org. And Alex and George, thank you so much for being here at the Spoon.
Great.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.